The reduction of hours has had a detrimental impact on service delivery in Cork City and County. Between April and November 2013, there was a 19% decrease in the home health budget in Cork alone, while nationally there was an average of a 13% reduction. The loss of these hours has affected not just the service users, but has also greatly reduced the earning opportunities of home health employees. SIPTO research has shown that in 2008 there were 12,356 home healths directly employed by the HSE. The most recent data states that there are now only 8,786 home healths employed by the HSE, and that amounts to a reduction of staff of over 3,500. No new employees are being recruited, and hours continue to reduce. On the outsourcing issue, the HSE also provides an additional budget for home care packages. Home care package contracts to private care companies have increased dramatically over the past number of years. In 2011, over 33 million was given to profit-making care companies to carry out work which was traditionally delivered by HSE home health. In 2012, that figure has increased to approximately 43 million, whilst at the same time, SIPTO home health members continue to see their hours decimated and their earning opportunities greatly reduced. There is absolutely no way that private care companies can deliver the service that the home healths employed by the HSE deliver. They're on a time basis, and they're forcing you into a time basis. Everything is counted for in minutes today, and that's why you're losing out. When you have a for-profit organisation, their sole criteria is for profit. Care doesn't come into it. Care is secondary.
As I believe the Irish government are well into the process of actively seeking to dehumanise our most vulnerable in Irish society, our elderly and our sick. To my mind, this is a crime against humanity. Our elderly, sick and vulnerable built this country, and now, in their time of great need, their home health services have been drastically decreased and in some instances banished. To this end, I believe home healths need to become lobbyists. You are stronger than you realise. I would strongly suggest that you band together as a 13,000 lobbyist group who have a powerful energy to bring about the change that is desperately needed for our elderly, sick and vulnerable.
Cuts to the education budget over the past number of years have seen a steady increase in class sizes. Over 22% of primary school pupils are being educated in class sizes of 30 pupils or more, an increase of almost 3% since 2010-2011. Reductions in non-teacher posts in schools across the country are leading to increasing pressures on the educational needs of children with little English and the support for children with special needs. In 2012, the National Council for Special Education stated that approximately 20,000 children would need additional resource and teaching support in the educational system. The Department of Education has recently announced an actual increase in this figure to 21,972 pupils who will need to access SNA supports. However, the Department continues to state that the SNA support and resource and teaching supports will remain at the 2012 level of funding, even though there is an obvious increase in demands based on their data outlining the amount of pupils seeking SNA supports.
As time went by, we became aware of the fact that the casualty unit was going to be closing, and it is closing on next Monday, and we were very concerned about that because, as Bernard said earlier on there, the elderly population in the peninsulas was one of our concerns, and also the distance that people have to travel in order to get to their nearest casualty unit, which is now going to be CUH from Monday onwards. Now, just to clarify, in case anybody would misquote me, heart attack patients and stroke patients will still be seen in Bantry Hospital in the night time, but any minor injuries, minor trauma, I should say, which would be anything needing suturing, stitching, or what are the other things, stomach ache, will be taken to CUH.
But our budget, our original budget was 14.9 million, that was cut to 12.465 million. that has had a serious impact on things that will not now go ahead, or things that have already withdrawn, projects that may have been withdrawn, and also projects that are now frantically looking for extra funding from their communities, or looking to take on extra loans or find money wherever they can, because what we have offered is less than what they would have applied for. The approach that we're taking is that we're looking to, we're fairly confident that the decisions that were made about how the leader money was reallocated around the country were not sound ones, and that they won't hold up when it comes down to it, and that there is a reassessment in August, and come September we're fairly confident that we can recoup some of that money.
Person to live at home, you're talking about the services that are necessary for the person to live at home. That's the home health service. You're talking about rural transport. You're talking about legal where it comes into it. You're talking then about the community hospital. You're talking about the day centre in the community hospital. You're talking about the respite beds. You're talking about community hospital beds down the road if they're needed. They are all interlinked. Each one of them are built into one another. They're all cogs that work together and drive towards one wheel. And they are what we're talking about. And they are what we're talking about when we're talking about elderly. So it's very, very important. When we first raised the age profile in the peninsulas back a number of months ago, we raised them with the closing of guard stations. We said, look, the community garden needs to be, cannot be taken from these rural communities. Yet we had a place like Goleen where they closed the guard station. They followed it up with closing the two banks. Again, the problems and fears that we have around rural transport, the problems and fears that we have around the home health, they're all interlinked. They all form one picture. And we've got to stand up, and we've got to make our voices heard, and we've got, no matter what people say to us, to fight for them.
We all have a responsibility to each other. We are not in this life just for ourselves. We are here to help each other in our journey through this life. Always remember that.